Hello, everybody. This is the Southern Hellenist. I'm back with another live stream, and so this one we're going to continue with um, Aristotle, which is one of the other notable philosophers of ancient times. And this gentleman actually tutored Alexander the Great, so we can definitely place him at a certain time frame and everything. So his school was founded and his school was closed. It doesn't. I don't. I wonder like. Um, see here. See. Um. Uh, okay. So on Wikipedia it says here. Um, It says here, in general, the details of Aristotle's life is not well established. Biographers written in the ancient times are often speculative, and historians only agree on a few points. Um, wow. I'm looking at this picture. It's like, wow, there's like nothing left of, um, yeah. Um, yeah. Looking at this. Yeah, so Aristotle has a lot of stuff that he did, um, which I think is really interesting. Um, it's a really long entry. I thought it was interesting. He also, according to Wikipedia, he also established the four elements. I thought it was interesting. Um, yeah. Yeah. So I'm just looking at this. Um, yeah. So it says here, Aristotle was a Greek philosopher and scientist, one of the greatest intellectual figures of Western history. He was the author of a philosophical and scientific system that became the framework and vehicle for both Christian scholasticism and medieval Islamic philosophy. Even after the intellectual revolution of the Renaissance, the Reformation, the Enlightenment, Aristotelian concept remained embedded in Western thinking. He did a lot of stuff. He covered biology, botany, chemistry, ethics, history, logic, metaphysics, rhetoric, philosophy of the mind, philosophy of science, physics, poetics, political theology, or theory, not theology, political theory, psychology, and zoology. Um,
Thanks, Joe. Just talking to
cool.
people.
Cool. Um, yeah. Definitely wrote plenty of history. Not history, sorry, books. I'm sorry, my brain's not working right now. Yeah. Okay, so it's like I said, it is. There's a lot of stuff about him that he did, and the areas that he worked on. There's really a lot of stuff. Yeah. Um, yeah. So, I mean, I tell you, like, if I went and I read every part of this website, this stream would be like over an hour long. Um, um, yeah, yeah. So apparently there was some, thinking after the fall of the Roman Empire, which is interesting when you like, wow, there was actually Christian thinkers and Christian whatever that was in there. Oh, hiya, hi. By the way, look at my shirt. Uh, I got that. I had gave them $5, not $3, and they gave me the shirt. So yeah. So there's a lot about Aristotle, and I really when I was going to talk about the philosophers, I know I do. Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. I actually posted on their Facebook page, and they were like, "Yay!" Because my brother made a comment. Do you know anybody in Russia? I'm like, no, I don't know anybody in Russia. But yeah, when you get into talking about these different philosophers and these different thinkers and all the stuff they do, it just blows my mind about you know how much they contributed to Western thinking and how important their works are. And if you go look at in today's world, if you say anything or you believe anything that's outside of the norm, you get chastised for it. And I'm not talking about like common stuff. We're talking about like, oh, I have this theory of this, and I want to see if it's true. And then people say, well, I like what you're doing, but we are thinking this way, even if you're thinking a new way. I'm a complete noob when it comes to philosophy. I just don't understand. I agree, I don't either, but the huge reasons I did these videos of like Socrates and Aristotle is because they were just so important um, to everything. I mean, they made people think, and they made people ask the big questions. And I think that um, I think that it's going to take. I'm really seriously considering buying a book that was written by Plato or Socrates or both, read it and try to understand what the heck they were trying to say or trying to accomplish. And I think that we need to ask the big questions. We don't need to be like, well, if something is making us uncomfortable or something is disrupting what we want to do, let's just go out there and let's just, drag these people out and everything. And I guess I don't know. I guess it's like the COVID thing talking, because it's like you have people that are saying, we want you to sit here for 1 second and think, 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 think. And if you can do that and you can figure out the big picture instead of the little bitty saplings, you're good. Like, for huge example is, how should I say it? People that are trying to tell you something for your own good, and it doesn't sink in. And here, Aristotle did all of these things. He was on these in these different kinds of sciences and thoughts and thinking, and his work was so huge, so huge. And so, when I go and I look at people that are trying to um, inject common sense, ouch, inject common sense into stuff, I kind of like wonder if, I don't know, if we're just like going up the hill and everything. I sort of feel like I can't pronounce the guy's name. He pushes the boulder up the hill. I just think that we are kind of that person trying to push that rock up the hill and everything. So, it's kind of, it just kind of, makes me wonder, like, what went through the mind of all these great thinkers, these people that ask the big questions and ask them in a logical way, ask them in a way that that made people think. You have Protagoras, you have Socrates, you have Aristotle, you have thanks, I'm glad you understand. All these people, and they built this big academy, and they brought these people in to learn about the world and learn about how everything worked. And you sort of have this, I don't know, you sort of have the same thing. You have all these people that go and they learn stuff to help you out, and you don't appreciate it, or your mind is just so little and small that you just don't seem to understand it or get it that, yeah, these people care about you. These people want you to think for yourself. And this is a problem I'm having with like the major religions, especially with like, you look at like Christianity, for instance. And this is not all of them. I'll make that very clear. This is not all of them. But you have some of them that, you know, they're trying to inject, these people are trying to inject common sense and rationality into their arguments that, oh, basically there's a big monster in your building and we're trying to keep you away from that monster, but you don't want to listen. You want to go forward and greet that monster, which will eat you. So when we look at philosophers during the time when the church was cracking down on them, I don't know what they accused the philosophers of. They fled because they read the writing on the wall and they knew that their time, especially in Greece and in Egypt, was over. So they went to countries that were more open to them and definitely more respectful and understanding of them. And I'm pretty sure they set schools up there as well until their schools were shut down, and it continues on and on and on. But I think philosophy is a very important thing to learn and to understand. And I think that as somebody who looks up to these people that died so long ago, we kind of shake our head and say, what sorry guys, my brain is not working today. What would the world have been like if they had survived? Yeah, I agree. She was persecuted a lot for her philosophies, I think. Yes, and she was also accused of witchcraft, which you can probably say that she was one of the first women that was ever accused of witchcraft. But the idea that she was actually murdered inside of a church, even if it had at one time had been inside of a temple, was absolutely atrocious. And I'm pretty sure there was a lot of people that were like, really, you have to do it inside of a church? Seriously? But yeah, I mean, they left. I mean, as soon as she was killed, they fled because they knew that they were no longer welcomed, that they were no longer going to be allowed to teach philosophy. And I think that we have lost a lot. I really do think we have. You had a lot of books on philosophy that were burned. So those voices are silent. You will never get them back unless they're mentioned in other people's works. But anyways, so I'm going to recharge my cell phone, and I'm actually going to go on Scribd and see if there's any books by Aristotle and Socrates, and I'm going to actually do a video review of that books and say, hey, this is what I read, and I'm definitely going to take notes, because if I don't take notes, I'll probably just screw the whole video up. And especially if it's a live stream, you can't redo that. You cannot redo that video. So anyways, so sorry about making this short, guys. I'm going to do one more live stream video tonight, and then this girl's going to bed. So I hope you guys will enjoy it. Until then, be blessed. And most importantly, be happy, healthy, and most importantly, be safe. Bye.